living my best hoodie life. What's new? I just went to go put a book in the mail, my Pango book that I'm sending out, and it didn't fit in my mailbox. I did get an unexpected package. I could actually maybe repackage it in this and then it would fit. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should. Okay. This package is from Angel, by the way. Okay. So first we have a card. Merry Christmas. Ooh, aww. I got a hat. This didn't fit my head. I do have a large head, so. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. I don't know if you're supposed to wear it like this. No way, right? It's definitely gotta be folded up. Oh, that's adorable. I can, with the little hood. Oh yeah, this looks good, huh? Are you jealous? You jealous of Pear's hat? Here. Let's try it on your head. Aww. It's so cute. It's so beautiful. Look at you. You look gorgeous. Okay, last night I started Sky Papers and I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 26 and it's kind of weird. So it's set in the 90s and it's kind of like, wow, those are scissors, aren't they? It's set in the 90s. It's kind of back and forth between London, New York, Chicago, and then this like small town in Minnesota called like Mosquito, or I don't remember what it's called. Called something else. It's about this person who is queer and black and like kind of figuring out their own gender experience, but they get hospitalized because they think that they're being like constantly surveillanced, which is so interesting to read that premise in the world that we live in now, where we actually are like under constant surveillance in a way, like under the guise of capitalism, you know? So yeah, it's very interesting so far. Definitely a little more like lit fic-y than I usually read, but I'm enjoying the writing. It's really kind of weird and like not linear and a little artsy, a little more along the lines of like Lote, or I don't know, even like Luster, maybe I would compare it to. So yeah, good stuff all around so far. I have asked some folks, or I asked on Twitter for people to send me some questions for a Q&A today. So I'm gonna do that later in the video. I'm gonna answer those questions, but also if you but I'll also do a part 2 to the Q&A, so if there are any follow-up questions, or if you have any questions and you don't have a Twitter, didn't see that post, then post them here as a comment, and I'm gonna do a part 2 to this in a couple of days. Hello, alright. So, yesterday I posted on Twitter to get some questions for a Q&A because I knew that today was just going to be kind of a lazy, not very interesting to vlog kind of a day. So I asked for questions on Twitter, and then, like I mentioned before, I'm going to do this again in a couple days, or another Q&A. So if you have any clarifying questions, or if you want to ask anything, you can ask them in the comments and then I will reply to those. Next, I'm just gonna retreat into this blanket the more uncomfortable I get with these questions. Okay, so the first question is from Sunny, and it says, why do you hate bisexuals, aka friends with me? We're starting this one off hot. This is a hot topic. Here it is. I don't hate bisexuals. I love bisexuals. I have dated bisexuals. I have the majority of my friends, I would assume, I'm pretty sure, are bisexuals. I love bisexuals. I think that in terms of the is Sunny biphobic controversy on the internet, I think that Sunny is very good at marketing their podcast, but at the same time I wish more people would actually listen to it, because I think that a lot of things Sunny says in their kind of loudness on TikTok and Twitter get like very misconstrued from the actual point that they're making, because sometimes they make it in very generalized statements, and sometimes I just want to shake them, and sometimes I just want to shake everyone else. But for the most part, I think that Sunny is really smart, and just sometimes, like, Sunny and their followers the followers of Sunny can be intense at people who are claiming that Sunny's biphobic, but that's like also just so silly of a claim, because it's not actually anything that Sunny has said seriously, but definitely something that Sunny has said sarcastically. So like sometimes I get how people are understanding, but at the same time, like, the hate and the doxing that Sunny has gotten is just silly. Just focus on something else. Because here's the thing, the root of oppression as a queer person is coming from a place of misogyny. Point blank. Like, if you are a gay man in a relationship with another man, the oppression that you're facing is because of your proximity to femininity. If you are a woman in a relationship with another woman, you are being oppressed because of your proximity to femininity and homophobia, and homosexuality. So when you are bisexual and you are in a relationship that is hetero passing, which, I mean, there's a whole conversation about like passing privilege and like the language behind that, but you still like have a privilege, and the oppression you're facing as a bisexual person is still going to come from homophobia and misogyny. And like, I get that point. You're not going to be oppressed for being like a cis woman in a relationship with a cis man. Does that make sense? It's all, yeah, based on, all comes back to living in a violent patriarchal society. So there's that answer, okay? Bianca asked, most and least excited about for tea. What do you, oh, there's more questions after that. I'll answer this one first. I'm excited for the majority of the things. So I'm excited for my voice to change. I'm excited for my potential facial hair. I'm excited for the energy. I'm excited for how it will change my body, like, structure, how it'll reorganize the fat in my body. just to like moving it to different places, and I'm excited to just like be me, you know, and have the support of T for that. I would say my least favorite thing, or like least excited about thing, is that the men in my family have a pretty serious history of like hair thinning and male pattern baldness. So that'll probably happen pretty quickly, I assume, but whatever. I think that I'll look really hot with like a bald head and a little scruffy beard. As to what do you look for in a friend? This is an interesting question. It depends, honestly. Like, a lot of my friends in real life are a lot different from my internet friends. My friends, I will say, are either fire or air signs in real life, but then on the internet I have like a ton of earth sign friends. I don't know what that's about, but the majority, yeah, are air and fire. But I would say that I look for just like genuinity. I hate any ounce of phoniness, so like, I don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of queers in the Portland area have a lot of phony characteristics that I cannot stand. And so it's hard for me to meet queer people like in real life that I actually vibe with. So a lot of our friends are like hetero couples, which isn't ideal, but we always have to like dance around this weird thing where I automatically get grouped in with like the girlfriend, and Cody automatically gets grouped in with the boyfriend. And so we have to like kind of navigate that. But I think most of our friends that we still see frequently are good about that now. But yeah, I wish that I had more in like real life queer friends who weren't just fucking annoying, honestly. There's like one person that I used to work with who I'm friends with who is very cool and super queer, but other than that, I don't know. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. I guess, what am I trying to say? I look for just like someone being really genuine, and I like when people are passionate about the things that they love. My best friend in real life is an art teacher, and she has known that she has wanted to be an art teacher since she was very, very young. And I have known her since middle school, and she's known the entire time she wanted to be an art teacher, and then she just went and did it and became it and like followed through. And I think that's so admirable. That being said, I also love existential friends who have no idea what they're doing. And I like people who will go down mind holes with me. I like people who will just let me talk about depressing shit without like being worried about me. I don't know, I kind of have a series of like tests. This sounds really fucked up and like manipulative, but I have like a series of tests that I'll kind of like run through my head to see if someone is kind of like worthy of my time. And a lot of it is just like based on how we converse and the things that we are mutually interested in. Yeah, I'm also like a big fan of like platonic love and platonic romance. So like I love friends that I can like do things for, like show my love language by like giving gifts and spending quality time with, and like that kind of thing. So long-winded answer once again. If you had to predict what kind of hobbies Otto is going to be into, what would you guess? I don't know, honestly. They are such an active kid. I think that they will like skateboarding, not just because they're named after a character from Rocket Power, but I also think that they'll like climbing a lot when they kind of understand it. We still have to rebuild the climbing wall that we had at the barn in our new barn. But when we do that, I think that Otto will have a lot of fun on that, and I think Otto will love the climbing gym. And I could just see Otto like getting really into it and wanting to be on the climb. I feel like their like athleticism already mixed with them being a Capricorn is like the perfect recipe for like someone who loves to solve like mind puzzles with their body, you know? Like I think that's my love for climbing comes from like my cusp Capricornness. We asked worst food you've seen / eaten at a Christmas party. Oh, okay. I feel like there are always like really gross desserts at Christmas parties that people make like only at Christmas, and they're like, oh, it's like a Christmas cookie. One of them is like, it's like maybe a shortbread cookie or something, but it's so like rock hard, and it's just covered in like a centimeter of powdered sugar, and you eat it and it tastes like nothing, and maybe it tastes like shock, and it's so disgusting and I hate it. Paige asked, is there a limit to living the soft life? You know, okay, so there's this homesteading channel that I watched called Roots and Refuge. They're kind of super Christian, but I just like watching people like work on farm and stuff. But she was talking, she was like, sometimes she'll do these like sermons. I don't really listen to the sermons, but sometimes she'll just like put in her religious wisdom. And she was talking about how our biggest or our flaws are just our greatest strengths in excess. And I've actually been kind of thinking about that a lot to like put that to the test almost. And it's honestly so true. Like, I would say my biggest like flaw is like lack of motivation and energy, but also that comes from me just being like so down to fucking chill all the time, which I think is a really good strength. And I think that like my temperament is really good for like having a kid and having a partner who's like kind of anxious. Like I feel like that's pretty, you know, it balances out well. Oh, my nose is so itchy. I would say that maybe there's a limit to the soft life, because I think if I was soft all the time, I would literally never do anything. But that being said, I think there are like non like passive activities you can do that are still soft. Like I do see climbing like in its authenticity, not with the ego involved, as like a really soft like sport, but also like personal activity. And same with like wandering through the mountains or whatever. It's not really like the action you're doing, but it's how you're doing it, you know? Like softness isn't just like a thing, it's like an embodiment. Okay, do you agree with me? Uh-oh. Oh god. I don't know why I'm getting, I think it's dusty up here or something. I don't know. Okay. Angel asked, what are 5 books your friends love but you hated? 5 is a lot of books to think about. Oh gosh. I mean, there's some that I like won't even touch, like the new Casey McQuiston book, not the red, white, and blue one. But the new one is like, I know that it has a poodle, and I fucking hate poodles, and it takes place in New York, and I hate New York, and I also just didn't really like red, white, and royal blue, so that's something that I'm like not interested in. But I don't know if I've like read a book and hated it. I don't know. I can't even think of any books that I really like have hated. Andrea asked, how do you feel knowing that Otto is the real star of Vlogmas? I feel good about it. I know that you're all just here for auto content, so I'm sorry that they're not in this clip with me. But I also, you know, am kind of like, as they grow up, if I'm still making booktube vlogs and content, I don't want them, you know, I want them to like have the agency and have like the consent involved to be or not be on my channel. So I think it's okay for now, as long as I'm not like only filming them all day. I want to make sure that it's, you know, not something that they'll like look back on and be like, why did you put me on the internet, you know? Andra also asked, your favorite book that features black people. Honestly, the best decision I ever made was to cut out like cishet white authors, male authors especially, but also just in general. The book I'm reading now is really good. Sky Papers, with that centers a black genderqueer main character. I also think Luster was so good. I feel like I mentioned these two books earlier, but Lote was really good. But also I love like the YA higher fantasy that I've read, like Ray Bear and Do You Dream of Terror 2. I love Akwaeke Emezi's books. I love Octavia Butler and N.K. Jemisin. Like, those are just in general probably my three favorite authors. So there's a lot. Okay, Ellie asked, who would you eat first, Cody or Otto? This is a really fucked up question, Ellie, but I appreciate you asking it. And I don't know what the actual answer to this is, but I like to think that I would sacrifice myself, or I would just cut off my boobs and we would all eat a boob. I would share one with Otto, maybe. He asked, what's the weirdest book you've read this year? Oh, Lord. The weirdest book that I've read? Maybe Saltfish Girl, but I loved it. Loved it. Definitely gonna be in my top 10. And favorite milestone to see Otto hit so far. I don't know, lately it's just been really cool to see all these things like evolve so quickly right in front of me. The clapping, which is recent, is really fun because they just like will do anything. Like they'll like take off their sock and then clap at themselves. And it's so cute. Indy asked, if you, Otto, and Cody were health foods or smoothie flavors, what would y'all taste like and what would you be called? This is such an involved question. Cody would just be fruit and no vegetables, and it would just be called Fruity Tooty. Fruity Tooty, that's actually good. Otto would be like some random ass what's that word? Assortment of things like cucumbers and mangoes, and I think it would be like fruity but also have some of those like fresh veggies, and it would be called automatic jazzy time. And I would be I'd be a little bit spicy. I'd be like a lot of orange fruits like mango and peaches and oranges and nectarines, but then it would have like pumpkin spice mix within it, and it would be called spicy bonanza. What are five gayest books you've read this year? Oh gosh, I would say Iron Widow probably is at the top for gayness. I don't know, man. I've read a lot of gay stuff. Probably a lot of poetry that I've read as well. Like the Billy Ray Belcourt I've read is very gay. I read Ocean Vuong's poetry collection this year, which was very gay. Oh god, 5, I reread Lifting Belly to create my chapbook about Gertrude Stein, which was very gay. And, oh gosh, I don't know. Also some nonfiction that I read was very gay. Like, time is the thing a body moves through. But at the same time, I just finished Little Fish. Oh, I finished Little Fish. And I loved it. I might talk about that more tomorrow. Okay. Sarah asked top 3 friends you would kiss. This is a very thirsty, bold tweet or question coming from Sarah. And I think we all know the answer, Sarah. It's on, baby. I would kiss Sarah and also Bert and Sean. Freddie asked, what food will you eat on Christmas / the holidays? I actually was talking to Cody's mom about this. They're usually the only family we see other than my sister's family for the holidays. And, and Cody's, like, other family, like, their dad's side of the family too. But, and I would assume for Cody's dad's side, we'll have more of the like traditional foods. And then at Cody's mom's house, I don't know, a couple years ago we like went to a fondue place on Christmas as a family, and like that was really fun. And so I offered to make fondue again, like on the day, but like at the house so we don't go anywhere. So I think we're gonna make fondue. Freddie also asked, has being trans changed anything in your romantic relationships? Which is also the last question. So this is an interesting question because when I started dating Cody and when I married Cody, I didn't know that I was trans. And I was never really a feminine person, and I was like rock climbing all the time, so I was jacked and usually had short hair. Like, the first time Cody ever saw me, I was like doing pull-ups at the climbing gym. Like, I've always had, you know, a fragile masculinity complex, and I've also, you know, I think been outwardly a very masculine person. So I think that Cody knew what they were getting into. That being said, it has been very helpful that Cody is a queer person and that I haven't had to like hide myself from them. Whereas in previous relationships, both like with a woman who was very much into being a lesbian, like the femininity, and I think would have supported me, but there was still more of that complex involved in that. And then my ex-boyfriend was very had even more fragile masculinity, we'll just say, and I think would have probably not been cool with it. So being with Cody has definitely helped me like figure out who I am, because there's just been so much openness and communication and exploration in our relationship. So I think like it's more so my romantic relationship with Cody has changed how I've been able to accept my transness, which is like a beautiful thing. But yeah, other than that, I don't think that there's really been like anything that's like, it was a little bit of a transition when I was like, okay, I'm learning that like this thing about like my body or something causes dysphoria, and I need you to like not acknowledge it or like masculinize it or like whatever it is. And sometimes I think there was some transition with that, but for the most part it's been good. Yeah, I've felt very like capable of being authentic in this relationship, and that is good. And I think like as Cody and I, you know, like potentially expand our relationship in whatever ways in the future, I think that will just be something that holds a lot of importance in like the values of any of our relationships. So yeah, that's that. Okay, end of Q&A. Was that good for you? Leave your questions if you have any other questions or you want me to specify any more on anything. Leave those down below. And yeah, thanks for watching another vlog slash kind of sit down video. Let's get our thumbnail. Wait, I have to look concerned. Okay, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.